Alright, so you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. We're going to be breaking down Luke Belmar's $15 million launch funnel. First of all, before we get into the actual funnel, let me just break down what he actually sells. So Luke sells two things, which are his low ticket offer and then his high ticket offer. The low ticket offer is his Capital Club. This is a community where you're invited to a bunch of events, especially online events. And his high ticket offer is Gem Hunters, his crypto market research and community. This is 1 Ethereum, which is about 2,000 USD. First of all, how does Capital Club work? So Capital Club is about $369 to $599. So it fluctuates each time that he launches it. He'll choose a different price, but usually it's about $370 to $600. He sometimes charges separately for live events up to $15,000. Here's his website where he'll explain what you get in the entire first part of the website, because the first part of your website is where 80% of the people leave. So you want to put as much information in there as physically possible. That's why he's smashed all of what you get into this small area where they barely have to scroll down and then they see exactly what they're going to get if they join his academy. Moving down, he asks again to join their email list. And again, he's being transparent. Be the first to know about our events and updates. He makes sure that everybody who actually signs up for this email list is actually interested in the email list so that he can close them later. For example, this is an email he sends out to everybody who joins the email list, just confirming if they're even interested, because you got to know that each email costs money. So don't waste those resources on people who aren't going to be converted, because what's the point of selling dog products to cat lovers? You're just wasting money at that point. Then down here, he has more FAQs, and that's the end of his website. As you can see on his website, everything is scrunched up into as small of a space as physically possible. They don't have to scroll down far at all. Now, I would like for him to add more social proof, but this is a low ticket offer, so you don't particularly need any social proof on your website, but it will increase conversion. So definitely try to add that and see if it works for you. Moving on to Gem Hunters, his crypto community. This is his high ticket offer. So before, Capital Club was his low ticket offer where he opens it up every once in a while, but this is always open. So Gem Hunters is always open, and he's been recently pushing it just about as hard as Capital Club. And this costs 1 Ethereum, which hovers around $2,000. And I'm guessing he's just trying to stay on brand with the crypto thing, but I would recommend that you don't do this. Just charge money, just charge in dollars. First of all, title, what they do. Boom, got your attention. Moving on, about us and signing up is simple, making it look as simple as physically possible. Again, he's using the same theme where you're getting as much value as you physically can from just a little bit of scrolling, or even just from the first page. Why choose Gem Hunters? Now, this is just explaining why us, because there's so many other companies who are doing the same thing. Seasoned analysts, gem reports, daily market updates, crypto education, regular live streams, simplified research, all of the talking points, all of the selling points of the business are all here, and you barely have to scroll down. Like literally, that's just one scroll. Community profits. See, here he added in social proof. As you can see, before he didn't add social proof because it was a low ticket offer. Now that he's got a high ticket offer, you have to add social proof, because if you don't add social proof, nobody's going to give you $1,000 off of the bat if they don't know if you're actually going to get them what they want. So community posts, definitely do that. This is a great way to use your Discord server. If you have an already established Discord server, definitely post the social proof. If you don't have a Discord server, just go ahead and use your Instagram social proof. But moving on. All right, here again, he asks for their email. Down here is the FAQs. And of course, you want to add this in every single website so that your customer service team does not have to answer the same goddamn questions every single day, because they will go insane. I'm telling you that right now. And then again, alas CTA. If you're going to sell a high ticket offer, copy this exact framework for your website. Just put in your own product and that's it. Moving on, how does he generate traffic? So I want to preface this by saying that he heavily uses clippers and podcasts. Podcasts, because podcasts are the greatest way to nurture people. And this is all usually, again, done by big influencers such as Iman Gaji and Luke Belmar. First of all, let me break down his TikTok strategy. On TikTok, he has 625,000 followers with 7.4 million likes. Moving on to what he actually posts here, it's mostly podcast clips. This gets people to know and like Luke. So as you can see, just a bunch of podcast clips providing a bunch of value. And again, as I prefaced before, he has a ton of clipping accounts, especially on TikTok. So these are just a few of the clipping accounts that I found just from one search. There's 9 on the first page, all with over 10,000 followers, over 300,000 followers. Imagine all of the traffic this is bringing in. And these are basically the clips that the podcast channels post. I've taken a screenshot of one of them where every few videos, one will go viral. Like average, they'll get 10,000 to 50,000 views, where every once in a while they'll break 100,000 or 400,000 or even break 1 million sometimes. And this is just driving a ton of traffic to Luke Belmar's Gem Hunters page. Moving on to his Instagram now. now. He has 651,000 followers. And again, here he's promoting gem hunters. You can see that he's really focusing hard on gem hunters right now. And I like, again, the simple bio. Definitely keep your bio simple with one link in your bio. Link trees are kind of dead. If you want to link to different websites, then just put multiple links in your bio. On the main account, he has no reels, just a bunch of lifestyle posts, getting audiences to know him and piquing their interest. These are just a bunch of photos from his Istanbul trip, and this just shows off the dreamland, where the audience wants to be, making them go to his other social medias, which nurture them further. This makes them easier to sell to and also increases the likelihood of them actually buying his product. And again, he heavily uses clipping accounts on his Instagram. These are all just a bunch of podcast clips that are driving a ton of traffic, first of all to his main Instagram page, to his TikTok, to his YouTube, and of course to his actual product. And again, this is just exposing him to an even greater audience and increasing the likelihood that someone sees his content and then maybe shares it to their friend, or maybe checks out his podcast, where they're going to get nurtured further. Then they're going to check out his YouTube, nurtured even further, and then they might actually buy the product if they're interested. Now I'm going to move on to his YouTube. So recently he switched his YouTube to being a 2-channel strategy. So he has 2 channels now. One is Luke Belmar Archive, and then Luke Belmar, the normal channel. On his main channel, he has 478,000 subscribers, and on his secondary channel, he has 27,000 subscribers. And on his main channel, he has a single video. This is creating a sense of exclusivity. This video is just a full 16-minute VSL. This is optimized completely for high conversions. It basically has every single type of content: lifestyle, educational, and it preaches Capital Club. So for the first part, he's just going to be introducing the video through a bunch of clips and a bunch of cool editing. He'll then move on to showing his lifestyle over here. And then at the end, he'll move on to putting in a CTA there, check out Capital Club. From this single video, they'll move on to his Luke Belmar Archive channel, where first of all, the older audience will be catered to because all of his older educational content has been transferred here. This is all value added content. It builds credibility, trust, and authority. It shows off all of his expertise that he's gotten over all of the years. He's not going to just throw that out. And also, again, nurtures the audience so much. YouTube is the king of nurturing, right below podcasts. And he's still posting very consistently, like 10 hours ago, a day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. He's posting every single day. Even on his YouTube, he has huge secondary channels like this Luke Belmar community. This is not even his channel. This is just a clipping channel. And as you can see, he has an affiliate link in his bio for gem hunters. Luke is paying him a commission, and Luke is getting tons and tons of sales from this huge community of 410,000 subscribers. By now, if they've watched his Instagram, TikTok, or even his YouTube channel here, they've seen so many clips of his podcast, so they're like, let me finally just check it out. They'll search up his podcast. These are just the first page of podcasts. These are 4 podcasts separately, all getting 300,000 views, 1.2 million views. This is a ton of new reach for Luke and a ton of leads. And as I said before, podcasts are the best method to nurture the audience and tap into brand new audiences. For example, if you went on Joe Rogan's podcast, you tap into his entire audience of 10 to 20 million people. That's really, really influential. Now I'm going to move on to his Twitter. He has 700,000 followers. So on his Twitter, he's just posting motivational quotes and sneak peeks, for example, all of this. And this keeps his followers curious so that when he launches something new, they're going to be ready and interested to buy or just join Capital Club when he opens it again. Now let me move on to how he generates interested leads. So he shares inspiring quotes and sneak peeks that make his followers excited and feel like they won't want to miss out. They then buy, riding on all of that enthusiasm that they got. He also puts in direct CTAs, so clear calls to action, as you can see on his website, consistent cross-platform funnels. He keeps the same message on all of his social media. I've seen a bunch of YouTubers do this, where on their Instagram, they're posting something else, and then on their TikTok, they're posting something brand new, and then on their YouTube, they're posting some other niche of content. Don't do that. You may think that your focus is only being divided 3 ways, but not just that, it's being divided by exponentially more. So it'll be 3 cubed. Your focus is being divided by 27 times just from these 3 avenues. Basically, he makes every single part of the process as frictionless as physically possible. Now let me move on to how he converts his interested leads. Pre-launch sequence is pretty special. So over a few months, he slowly builds anticipation through his social medias. He starts posting sneak peeks, and through this he builds hype. This hype keeps going up, and then he opens it for some time. This could be a few days or a few weeks or a few months. After he's cashed out all the hype, he just shuts it down, and then of course the process is repeated, and then boom, it goes down again. The top dogs in the entrepreneurial space follow this exact strategy, such as Iman Gaji and of course Luke Belmar. You definitely don't want to do this. You want to stick to being open all the time. You just want to slowly build, because first of all, it's a huge pain in the butt if you don't have an entire team. Second of all, if you don't have any infrastructure, you're just going to have to manage all of this yourself, and then you're not going to have a business. You're just going to have a really high paying job. So I hope that whole funnel breakdown actually provided some value to you. And if you're interested in having a funnel like this built for you, then DM me down below. I have my Instagram link and we can see if you want to book a call. No pressure. There's not going to be a whole sales call or anything. Go down into my DMs, message me, and we'll just have a normal conversation. See you in the next one.